actually don't know if we've really touched on that whole, because you've had it on 35s for a while now. So how's it handling?
So look, 35s, the voice beyond wanted to talk about this subject in previous episodes, but I wanted more time with it.
Yep.
To really dissect it. And there is one thing that sucks about it, but everything else is pretty epic. Honestly, it still feels like you're driving a car around. It doesn't feel like a burden. It handles it fine. Of course, there's a little bit of lag, but not much.
Yep.
And the worst part that I'll just touch on is going downhill first gear low. It is just faster than second gear low on the V8 downhill.
Oh, okay.
If you don't touch the brakes. Yep. Now, if you use downhill assist, which is absolutely useless, right? Remember, I was talking about that in the previous episode. Downhill assist just sucks. Well, turns out in 35s, it reacts much quicker because it needs to react to something that's rolling at a certain momentum or speed, right? With the 35s, it does it instantly. So it kicks in. So you don't have that like, oh, is it going to do anything? It goes in straight away, and it sits in between first gear low and second gear low on a 70 series V8.
Okay.
So it's manageable.
Yep.
Not the best, but it's manageable.
So maybe a little bit off when you're towing. You might be getting a bit more of that. Not that you're towing off-road.
That's the other thing,
heavy,
right?
but
When you're towing, you put it into haul mode. But obviously, if you're in low range, you can't choose haul mode, right?
Okay.
So so if you're towing in the Victorian high country, not sure how that would go.
Yep.
However, downhill assist activates the brakes. That'll send a signal to the trailer, so everything will be braking.
Yep.
And I quizzed my engineer. I've got a contact at Toyota engineer guy who I sometimes fire texts between.
Yep.
It's nothing official or anything. It's just a guy I know.
Yep.
And he was explaining to me that downhill assist, because I was like, does it work with the gears or anything? Doesn't. Downhill assist is strictly brakes. But what he said was, like, engineers just explain stuff the best, like the most clearest way, right?
Yeah.
He's basically saying, well, it's like if you had 4 pedals, but you don't have 4 feet, and you can control each one at the right time, and and you've got an eye on each wheel, so you know when to do it.
Yeah. That's
what the system's doing for you.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's cool.
To get brake fade would be a lot more before you get brake fade. But then in saying that, Victorian high country, it is so damn steep that even in the troopy, I had to use the brakes quite often.
Yeah, right.
You let it go for a bit and then you're on the brakes. Then you let it go for a bit, you're on the brakes. And that's just the nature of the steepness. But the in-between steepness is where the V8's just going to have it.
Cruise over it, yep.
But you can always change the diff ratio, but I don't want to do that. It's fine.
Yep.
Towing a caravan up north, I will change the tyres back to 33s, and that's just for practicality.
Yep.
I still have yet to tow it with 35s up that hill. But I've towed with 35s. And interestingly enough, in high range, in the haul mode, and that's something I've got to ask the engineer guy as well, there's something weird going in the haul mode. I reckon when you are coasting down a hill, it actually uses the gears to slow you down. It's weird, eh? It's like it senses you're going...
Right.
I've never... Yeah.
It's so like working in reverse to what haul mode actually is kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's favouring... It's a favourable thing to use because it gears back to help you slow down. It's like in a manual where you gear down.
Yeah.
Using engine compression. It does that in haul mode, which is really cool. Yeah.
So you can hit, because I know you worry with your experience with the Hilux was putting 35s on it, not being able to get to 60.
The 33s.
Oh, was that only with 33s?
Yeah. So
right.
Here's the thing, right?
So it's catching 6, no worries. On the 35s.
It's catching 6 from about 95, 97. It'll get to 6 gear.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When we were out there testing, Trav was testing his V8 and was just going to different things. If you are on and off the throttle like we were, getting 6 gear is difficult. And I thought, we can't get 6 gear. But then we went into the servo and we took off for the second run, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gear straight away. But it's because I just drove up to it. So then we figured that, okay, so you can accelerate hard, but as soon as you take your foot off and then go back on, it'll go down it'll upshift,
Yep.
and it'll be in 6th gear. And then even going uphill with giving it a bit, it still stays in 6th gear.
Right.
It just holds the gears a bit longer than other automatics that I'm used to.
Yep.
It feels rougher because it holds it longer. So you get that, you can feel those little vibrations and stuff. Like it feels like it doesn't like it, but I think they just do that in other cars so they feel more comfortable. The 70, they just make it so it drives.
Yep.
So that's my take on the car. Like it does really well on 35s. That's not to say you should be driving on 35s, but it does really well on 35s.
Yep. Now, what's the plan with you? Because there's still no bar, and you've still got the standard Toyota snorkel there as well. They're the two things that I noticed straight up. Have you got any more updates on those plans?